Okay, let's now proceed to Module 3, and these are all about communication skills. The goal of this module is to improve participants' ability to communicate with home care clients by developing active listening skills. These skills include nonverbal communication, paraphrasing, and asking open-ended questions. In addition, participants will be introduced to the self-management skill of pulling back. Communication is the activity of sharing information. It requires a sender, a message, a receiver. Information shared can be facts, feelings, ideas, and opinions. The communication process is complete when the receiver understands the sender's message. Communication is an exchange of information. It takes place in several ways, like verbal exchange, written words, and body language or nonverbal methods. Communication is necessary so that people can function together. In other words, so they can get along. Developing the ability to get along with people, like clients, visitors, fellow workers, is an important part of your job. Being a good communicator is essential. Verbal communication. Verbal communication is the exchange of ideas or information through the spoken word. The tone of your voice, the speed at which you speak, your inflection, and your actual choice of words are all part of the verbal picture you paint as you speak. Written communication. Anytime you write or draw, you communicate through writing. Each time a nurse leaves instructions for you in a home, or you write a note describing your activities with the client, you exchange facts. The neatness, legibility, choice of words, and how you give the written work to the reader sets the scene for how it is received. Nonverbal communication, meaning no words are spoken, but the message is given and received by others. This is called body language. Body language includes the way we do things, the way we stand, like our hands in pockets, on hips, or at our sides. The where we stand, close to the person or far away. What else we may be doing at the time? We may be reading, folding laundry, or talking on the phone. Answering when the client calls. Every client needs a way to signal other people. There are some device systems for some client to call you, like handbell, stick, used to bang on the bed or the floor, or voice signal. Answer the client's call as soon as you hear it. Every minute is very important to the person waiting. There are basic rules for communicating. First, be a non-judgmental observer and listener. It means accepting manner without expressing your opinions. You must develop the skill of recognizing when your opinion is important and when you should not express it, and be non-judgmental. Be a careful listener. Always listen when someone speaks to you. Listen to what the speaker says, not what you think he or she says. Pay special attention when a client makes a complaint or brings up a problem. Be sensitive. Sometimes client does not want to talk. Respect his moods. Simply being near the client in a moment of trouble may be the most comforting message of all. Be courteous and tactful. Courtesy means being polite. Tact means being considerate of others. Never critical or impolite in your contact with others. Let's move on with emotional control. Sometimes a client or a visitor can upset you. You feel like making a rude or nasty remark. Do not do it. Remember that the client is worried about himself, his illness, his family, or his job. Client stress levels may affect their ability to communicate and listen. You may speak in simple terms. Do not be upset if you have to repeat yourself several times. Let's go to active listening. Active listening means listening with our full attention. It involves non-verbal communication, like body language, facial expression, and tone of voice. It involves paraphrasing. It means repeating back in your words what the speaker has said. It involves asking open-ended questions to clarify or gather more information. Let's go to paraphrasing. Part of being a good listener is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means reflecting back in your words what someone else said. Some ways to say it. Did I say you say? So what you're saying is, am I hearing you right that? Are you saying that? Paraphrasing really helps by showing that you are listening. It helps avoid confusion. It helps you to focus on the client. It helps the listener remember better what was said. Paraphrasing stops anger and cool down a crisis because the focus is on clarifying information rather than on reacting to the situation. Asking closed and open-ended questions. Closed questions usually generate short facts or yes or no answers. It begins with did, do, are, is, when. It can be answered in few words. It helps you get information and it stops conversation. Open-ended questions This usually begin with how, what, or why, or you might say, tell me more about it. Open-ended questions encourage a long answer. It helps you find out thoughts and feelings, and it keeps the conversation going. Let's now go to pulling back. Pulling back is the ability to keep emotional control in a stressful situation. It is your ability to handle a challenging situation will be determined by your ability to stay calm and think clearly. To pull back is to be able to pause, become aware of your emotions, get them under control, and clearly observe and assess the situation. After pulling back, you are better able to understand what is happening and ask for additional information if necessary. There are steps for pulling back. First, notice your emotional reactions and judgments. Next, freeze your reaction and put it aside. Then put your attention back on the person. Now we have choice point here. Reacting emotionally means what, and pulling back means what. Reacting emotionally defend our opinions. It prepare our response. It looks for evidence to support our opinions. And it discount evidence to the contrary. Pulling back suspends our opinions and put them on hold. We can listen actively without blocks or judgment. We can look with curiosity for new information or insights. It stays open to changing our opinion. Okay, you will see here reacting emotionally versus pulling back. You can choose. Emotions involve anxiety, anger, hurt, frustration, hopelessness or sadness. You can see them on their picture, on their facial expressions. Prejudice and assumptions, feeling like we already know the other person's reasons, motivations, or ways of thinking. Pullback strategies. Take a deep breath. Silently count 1 to 5. Silently say a personal affirmation such as, I have the strength to deal with what's happening here. And there are strategies to prepare for a stressful situation. Talk to someone else about the situation. You can listen to soothing music. You may rehearse what you plan to say. Plan a time to talk when there will not be any interruptions or distractions. And you can imagine yourself staying calm and collected during the situation. Okay, let's move on with good communication skills. With good communication skills, it helps you understand what the client is thinking and feeling. It helps build good feelings between you and the client. Make it easier for you and the client to solve problems together. Let's go on using the telephone. The telephone is one way most people communicate with others not in immediate vicinity. This may take the form of a cell phone or a landline attached to the house. Remember, the phone is in the client's house for their use and your emergency use, not for your personal calls. Remember, the time you spend on the phone is taken away from client care. You are in the house to do a job. This is not appropriate time to take care of your personal issues. Your relationships with your clients. You are important to the client and his family. You may spend more time with the client than any other member of the healthcare team. You perform necessary personal tasks that permit the client to remain at home in a safe, comfortable, and clean environment. Clients and their families come to depend on you and share their feelings and thoughts. Often, you are the only person a client will see all day. Let's talk a little bit about family and visitors. Visitors are often the highlight of the day for clients who must remain at home. There are following hints helpful to remember. You listen to visitors and family members. Try not to become involved in family affairs. If visitors have questions about your client and you are not sure you should answer, tell them you will find the information and then you call the agency where you're associated at. Report the roles family and visitors play in the life of your client. Report changes in family functions, relationships, and roles, both as you observe them and as the client relates them.